zone them out. This prompts a TP from the respawning Keeper of the Light, but all the while Alliance working on a tier 2 in the mid lane, so it might be an even trade here as far as the towers go.
They raided back off though. They took 2 towers so they can defend it.
Potato there to zone them out. This spinning forward from the respawning Keeper of the Light, but all the while Alliance working on a tier 2 in the mid lane, so it might be an even trade here as far as...
The only play Alliance can make there is to try and split push using their Beastmaster Necrobook, which is still just level 1, and Alliance's lack of teamfight really starting to show here. Big problem is the supports are still very under-leveled. Only just now, Rubik's hit level 6. Keeper of the Light has the level 3 Illuminate, but Mineski just can kind of brute force their way through. And this is before they even have a mech pickup. This only gets harder and harder to defend as the kind of core items come up on some of these utility heroes. The Death Prophet's got a Veil. Tusk is going to have an urn, so if they start getting kills, then you've got the sustain for your push, where you can, if someone tries to get bursted, they survive, you heal them back up as well. So very difficult to slow down Mineski right now.
And perhaps equally importantly, you mentioned how hard it is to go on a hero when there's a snowball save. There's now a swap available as well, so Mineski can be even more confident in their sieges. Loda, meanwhile, he's been quiet on the Bristleback, pushing in that bottom lane. And so I guess looking at the way the game's developed, Alliance clearly on the back foot here. They don't have a ticking time bomb type hero gods. The panel talked a lot about Anti-Mage, I think especially the Naga Siren, maybe even like a Phantom Lancer. We didn't see one of those heroes drafted, so how do they turn it around? How do they get control of this game back, and what's their timing window?
They ideally want to keep disrupting Mineski's momentum. They're looking to take towers while grouped up. If you can slow down that process by finding pickoffs, it means, like, okay, Jug or Death Prophet's dead, Mineski's not going to be able to push. So ideal scenario is you figure out who's going to be alone. If it's Nature's Prophet somewhere, like solo pushing a lane, go and gank the Nature's Prophet. If it's Jug, try and smoke gank him as they tried earlier on at bottom lane. It didn't work, but you've got to keep looking for that play.
Oh, Mineski, they saw that Ancient stack being cleared out. I believe heroes running back and forth, and now they creep into the pit, maybe thinking even the Roche was being tempted. Are they going to sneak in?
They just want to...
Do Mineski have the cojones for this? You bet they do. Into the pit they go. Wave of Terror, very carefully thrown to the south so as not to be easily scouted by Alliance. Bottom lane is pushing and no one's defending. Alliance might have an idea of what's up, but they've yet to move into the pit. They really need to start channeling up that first Illuminate.
He's got no TP as well. I suppose just not going to be here in time.
They don't have a blink on the Beastmaster. They just got to waddle into the pit, and it's far too late. Mineski have snagged the Aegis right out from under the watchful eyes of Alliance.
Yep.
Not vigilant there when they needed to be, and certainly another win for Mineski, who we mentioned all the sustain they have for a push. Give them a second life.
I think the big thing Mineski have to be wary of as they go for a push is they're still very low level. You haven't got level 2 Omni Slasher. You haven't got level 2 Exorcism. These two ultis receive big upgrades when you get to level 11. So I'm fine with them going for these tier 2 towers, but they need to not jump ahead of themselves and say, okay, we've got Aegis, let's go high ground right now, because they could get punished there if not careful with the AoE of Queen of Pain and the Keeper of the Light Illuminate. There's still plenty of counter push for Alliance. Alliance will not give up easily here, despite the Aegis push coming their way.
Well, Mineski so far, they've been very disciplined, very prepared for Alliance's movements, and they continue to slowly work on outer objectives, not diving too deep for kills. They get the mech, they chip at the tower. It's Alliance on defense. Mineski continuing the onslaught, but Benher will drop low. He gets forced back. The healing ward there to regen him up, and again Alliance flip pushing. Queen of Pain and Beastmaster, 2 Ps in a pod, constantly grouped up together. Tower will be denied mid. As the Radiant Glyph comes through, they are teleporting in reinforcements to the top lane. Jules the first man in, he gets the snowball off his Bulldog, attempted for the roar. They're gonna roll for this, actually not. They'll be fine. But now they chase forward onto S4, blinks out. Can they catch him? Sprout getting fogged here, it is nighttime. Turn, he's got the Arcane Rune. Not sure he'll be able to kill him in time, and he does blink away again.
Oh, but he blinked into...
Raging Potato. Do they get the silence here? Does he have it yet? No, S4, one more blink. And this last one enough. He TP's out, but Alliance creating some space, slowing Mineski down. They did get the tower deny mid. Yeah, they're not crumbling under the pressure.
Oh no, Alliance playing fantastic from behind under the pressure. They're not trying to force the fights. I mean, this is classic Alliance. It's, okay, we're behind, our way back in the game. It's kind of been a split push. This is just what they kind of became known for during the TI3 era. They get whatever they can elsewhere on the map, avoid the team fights, but problem is Mineski, they get back to that top lane to defend, they're instantly transitioning into a push. So they're already on the offensive once again with the Aegis, and likely this last outer tower is going to be dropping 16.5 minutes in the game. At some point, the high ground push will come.
This game of keep away continues for Alliance, but Mineski are going to call for a game of chicken. Come home, Alliance. Your base is in trouble. Home is under siege. And meanwhile, mid, Alliance also sieging. They're going high ground too. Who's going to push faster here? We'll have to see. They work on it, but Bulldog does get caught by a snowball. There's the Walrus punch as well. The tower's down, and Juggernaut spinning his way onto Bulldog. They're trying to bring down the Beast Master. Goes for the TP out. Ain't gonna happen. Ben-Hur able to finish him off with the assistance of Jules, so they give up the kill, Alliance do, but they do force Mineski back, and they get the tier 3 first.
This is such classic Alliance. They're actually delaying the push. The Aegis will be expiring very soon. We're not going to be able to see a successful high ground it's out of this one. And
I think it's something important you mentioned, Gods. No level 2 Omni Slash, but more importantly in this case, no level 2 Exorcism. They just don't push as hard as they need to in that situation.
And one of the weaknesses of the Mineski draft we're seeing is the lack of catch. When we kind of got to that last fifth pick from Mineski, something some of the panel talked about is like, okay, we need to see a catch here or something that can get pickoffs. You've got kind of a swap, but generally you're looking at Venge Swap as a more defensive save tool. Tusk Snowball, not really a reliable instant initiation. You don't have that Chronosphere, that Batrider Blink Lasso. You don't have that Centaur Blink Stun, the Slardar Blink Crash. There's no instant initiation to punish Alliance's split push, and Alliance are just taking advantage of Mineski's limited ability to pick off heroes. Nature's Prophet can eventually get a Hex, but that doesn't come until much later on.
Mineski swinging back towards the mid lane. We have seen some additional item pickups here. The Queen of Pain Orchid complete at the same time that Raging Potato grabs his Yule Scepter, so a retort there perhaps. Just classic items for these heroes. The Necro 3 online now. And Alliance creeping forward, but Mineski appear to be wise to this. They do have the ward. They see it coming.
They want to fight while X is on cooldown, but at the same time, initiating on Death Prophet as an Aegis, not ideal.
Oh, they are going to head up the hill. They find Jules first. That's a little bit sweeter, but Bimbo's gotten off a really nice nuke there from the Veil, and now they move on to Bulldog. The Exorcism coming. He's got a double Spirit Type, and they cannot fight him head on. They're trying to kill off the backliners, but they've already lost 2. Big cores hitting the deck, and Loda coming next. EGF choke down. That's going to be 3. Mineski pushing for 4. Loda might be next. Just need one more auto attack. He turns his back. He heads for the hills. The wave of terror's there. They get him in the sprout. They need that bench stun to complete it. The Quill stack up, but it's not enough. It's 4 down. Necro will finish off one lingering Mineski hero while Bimbo chases forward. That's 1. Angry Potato. He does the Yules. Doesn't need it. It's a wipe. Mineski cleaning up there. It did cost them a buyback, but well worth it.
Oh boy, Mineski taking out the entire Alliance squad. That was off the back of the Aegis kind of expiring as well. You can see the intent from Mineski's draft. Raging Potato following the teamfight victory, picks up a Hood of Defiance. They are going all out. They want the pipes, the mech, the drums, every tool to throw at Alliance for the teamfight push that's going to come. And if they can put themselves in a position where they're grouped up as 5, there's no split push to worry about. They're going to have everything they need to break the high ground.
That was not the ideal way to start the team fight. They kill the Tusk, but he buys back immediately, rejoins the fight. Prophet gets off a full Exorcism with double Spirit Siphon. They don't even try to kill her. You mentioned she had Aegis. They didn't even try to, kill her once the Exorcism goes down. She just has free reign in the team fight. It felt like Alliance just didn't get the right hero first.
They even stole the Omni Slash on EGM. He stole the Omni Slash, turned it around. It was split between all the treants and everything. So EGM, even with the big plays he makes.
There's a Yules here down at the bottom rune. It looks like we might have some action breaking out. Snowball forward onto S4. He blinks back. Oh, Jules. Lucky he didn't end up on the wrong side of that hill, but they're still hunting him. They roar. They commit, and that will end up being a dieback. So Jules, a bridge too far for him. He does go down. He'll be on the sidelines for 40 seconds.
Not too big a deal. As long as you're not dying around Aegis respawns or Alliance kind of split push timings, you're looking okay. And that's just 30 seconds where the rest of the Mineski team need to not get caught out, continue farming their next couple of pickups, like the pipe that I mentioned on the Death Prophet. Ben-Hur farming at top looking for a Manta style, so he'll have a way to get out of the Queen of Pain Orchid, and picking Ben-Hur off is just not going to be an option at that point.
Looks like we'll be settling down here. That next Roshan still a little bit of a ways off, and I guess the question is, Gods, how fiercely do you see this being contested? Who's going to have the edge around the pit?
It's still going to be Mineski, despite Alliance having Beastmaster vision, and a pretty good AoE team fight with the Keeper of the Light and the Queen of Pain. If you get Death Prophet in there, if you're willing to commit the Exorcism, Mineski pretty much secure themselves Roshan. They've got Healing Ward, which can be placed on the cliffs. They've got Juggernaut, who can Blade Fury to block a lot of the magic damage. And Exorcism with the mech and pipe to back it up is just going to mean you've got this kind of unkillable Death Prophet who has 2 defensive supports to save. Snowball and Swap means killing these frontline cores is very, very difficult.
Well, it seems Alliance, they want to try and play the Mineski game here as they get a mech up on Ake. We did earlier see Loda building his own Hood of Defiance, so perhaps a pipe will be next on the list, the Bristleback, and they're basically going to fight fire with fire, but S4, top side of the map, Omni Slash is there, Mineski assassinate the Queen of Pain. A nice silence to start that one off, just doesn't have an escape plan at that point.
Interesting, it looks like Raging Potato Bimbo decided not to upgrade the hood. He had the Hedroots, which he sold, and he's transitioned into a point booster, so perhaps deciding just the single, like his singular defensive capabilities with the hood is enough. It's the rest of its team. Juggernaut can siege high ground just with Blade Fury. We saw that earlier from OG, where No-Tail just slow sieges with Blade Fury. He backs off when it wears off, then goes back in when it's back up, so with the Hood of Defiance, he's just tanky himself, and it's kind of a bit more cost-effective approach to the game.
Mineski transitioning off of that Queen of Pain kill immediately into a push, but it's right as the Bristleback completed. Pipe comes out, Exorcism pop nice and early, but that blinding light does not matter against these ghosts that just pound into the tower. It's almost down, Glyph forced out. This time, no split push from Alliance. They'll be fighting this one head on, and we do see Bulldog wrapping around for the flank. Any second now, the Beastmaster could get the jump, but do Mineski realize they throw out the shards? They knew he was there. They did a vision behind them, and they snowball.
Yeah.
Kill that pig!
The important thing for Mineski is not to get caught on the retreat with Exorcism wearing off.
Speaking of which, there is a Manta up here, Ben-Hur, so he's absolutely fine against the Sorkin, and they continue to chase Bulldog. A bit lucky there, or unlucky with the charge rather, for Jules, and to the north side, the Queen of Pain ult comes through, but Raging Potato relatively healthy. Ben-Hur on the run, the Ghost chasing him back, very discombobulated for Mineski. They are going to lose the Potato potentially here. Throw out the Jules, but Jules will fall. It could be him next as the stolen Exorcism goes to work. EGM completely wrecking Mineski, 3 hitting the deck. And off to the mid lane, it's going to be up to the old Baccarino to split push these lanes back out.
Bulldog's positioning that fight is so good. Even with himself getting spotted by an Observer Ward, he prevents the Mineski retreat. The problem is once you've committed the Exorcism, Alliance is trying to initiate on you as the Exorcism is wearing off. So by the time that team fight breaks out, Mineski are fighting without their most important spell. Their majority of their damage output coming out of that Exorcism, and Alliance, they can force the fight. They have Bulldog preventing the retreat, they have the frontliner, the Queen of Pain and the Bristleback running in to catch heroes as well, and Mineski are kind of just over-committed at that point.
This wasn't really the best approach to the fight for Mineski, where Alliance just caught them out and stealing Exorcism there, guaranteed at least 2 additional kills. So great play by EGM. Perhaps Mineski needed to back a bit sooner.
Well, for that, we'll see. Perhaps Mineski slow down the pace of this game and look to at least get themselves an Aegis first. I think they're going to recognize from that fight, if they want to commit to a push, they're going to have to fully commit. Like, you can't just poke at the high ground, expect to get a tier 3 tower and then be able to back off. Bulldog is going to be in position to prevent that. With a Blink Dagger and Necrobook, he can be very pesky. And
well, you mentioned catch. They get a little more here now, as well as just more defensive capabilities. Tusk now grabbing the Blink Dagger. So Jules, despite the death and then the buyback into a dieback, he has managed to complete a core item here on the Tusk that may give them the jump they've been looking for.
Yeah, on top of that, the Nature's Prophet from Boccarino is going to be building into a Scythe of Vice. So recognizing their lineup's big gap is the lack of pickoff. They're going to build those 2 items to try and resolve things.
Game settling down now, a very even clash thus far. Only a 3,000 gold and 2,000 experience advantage for Mineski. It's felt like the